Good morning, students. So, in this class, we shall continue the generation and conduction of nerve impulse in the lesson that is the neural control and the coordination. So, in this topic, mainly are coming across with how the nerve impulse is being generated in the neuron and how it is being conducted, means how it is being made to move across the length of the axon, because in the neuron you know that the dendrites collects the impulse and it will be carried towards the cell body. So from the cell body that impulse will be moved to the axon. So this axon will be carrying the impulse away from the cell body. So how the axon is going to carry the information or the impulse away from the cell body. So all this you are going to study in this topic. So our neurons, you know that our neurons are called the excitable cells. So why our neurons are called excitable cells? Because there is the presence of the neural membrane in the neuron. So this neural membrane, or you can even call it as the axonal membrane, it gets polarized. So what do you mean by the polarized? So as and when I teach this topic, you will come to know what you mean by the polarized. So until then you remember our neurons are called the excitable cells because of the membrane getting polarized. So the axonal membrane, it is consisting of the different ion channels. So these different ion channels are sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, or even sodium chloride or the sodium potassium ion channels. So but these ion channels which are present in the axonal membrane may not show equal permeability for all the ions. Means here for these ion channels may permit for the movement of the ions from one region to another region for only some of the ions, and for some they may not show. So here these ion channels are showing selectively permeability for the different ions. Okay, so now the neuron, if it does not conduct, or if it does not receive any impulse, so then that neuron is said as resting neuron. So let us see how the neural membrane or the axonal membrane is going to become the polarized state. So I have told already that the axonal membrane, it is consisting of the different ion channels. So this axonal membrane, it is showing permeability for the potassium ions, means it is a condition of the axonal membrane. The axonal membrane shows the permeability for potassium ions and it shows the impermeability for the sodium ions and even for negatively charged proteins. So where this potassium, sodium and the negatively charged proteins are present? So in the neuron, the axon part, the membrane of the axon is called the axonal membrane. So now this axonal membrane, it is showing permeability for only the potassium ions and impermeability for the sodium and negatively charged proteins. So inside the axon, it is consisting of the exoplasm. So that exoplasm, it contains the high concentration of potassium as well as the negatively charged proteins. So inside the exoplasm, it contains more concentration of the potassium and even the negatively charged proteins. But inside the exoplasm, even sodium is also present, but that sodium, it is in the less concentration. Okay, then so the axonal membrane, towards the axonal membrane inside exoplasm, outside the axonal membrane, that is outside of the axon, there is the presence of the fluid called as extracellular fluid, and here for exoplasm you can even call it as the intracellular fluid. So even the exoplasm, outside of the exoplasm, that is in the extracellular fluid. It also contains the ions, but that extracellular fluid, it contains high concentration of the sodium and the low concentration of the potassium. Okay, so this now you can see, compare or imagine the axonal membrane, then towards the inside of the axonal membrane, exoplasm. Outside of the axonal membrane, it is the extracellular fluid. So exoplasm, it is with more amount of potassium ions, but the extracellular fluid, it is consisting of more amount of the sodium ions. So in case of extracellular fluid, potassium is less. In case of exoplasm, potassium is more. In case of exoplasm, sodium is less, but in case of extracellular fluid, sodium is more. So now you can see there is a change in the concentration of the sodium and potassium across the axonal membrane. So this is going to form the ionic gradient across the axonal membrane. So this ionic gradient, it is maintained by the active transport, means this ionic gradient will be maintained by the active transport, means by the movement of ions from one region to another region. So I have already told, in case of the axonal membrane, there are presence of the different ion channels, and I have given some examples also. But in the axonal membrane, now we are going to come across with the sodium potassium pump. And now why I am taking the example of the sodium potassium pump across the axonal membrane, because I have told you our neurons are called excitable cells mainly because of the membrane which is becoming polarized. So now you will understand how the axonal membrane is going to become the polarized state. Okay, so here you can see the structure in the where they have labeled it as 1. There you can observe the cytoplasm, that is exoplasm, or even it is intracellular fluid. And you can see the after, that is outside of the axonal membrane, extracellular fluid. There you can see the even concentration gradient also, or that is with respect to the ionic gradientation. I have told in the cytoplasm or exoplasm or intracellular fluid, more concentration of potassium and less concentration of the sodium. In case of extracellular fluid, more concentration of the sodium and less concentration of the potassium. So across the axonal membrane or in between the axonal membrane, there is the presence of the sodium potassium pump. So this sodium potassium pump, inside you can see there is the sites for binding of the ions. I have told these sodium potassium pump or the ion channels will be showing selectively permeable, means they will be selecting only some ions for the movement of that ion from one region to another region. So in this sodium potassium pump, you can see there are the binding site for 5 ions. So one side where they have shown Na+, so there you can see there are 3, and the opposite you can see there are 2. So what happens in case of the exoplasm, where the concentration of sodium is less, so from that region the 3 sodium ions will get bind to the binding site inside the sodium potassium pump. Okay, so that after binding of the 3 sodium ions inside the sodium pump, you can observe it in the second diagram. Okay, so here this binding of the sodium ions, that too with 3 sodium ions which gets binded to the sodium potassium pump. Then you can see in the second diagram there is the opening which is shown towards the inside. But see the same structure in the third diagram. So their opening site is towards the extracellular fluid. Then how this sodium potassium moved towards the extracellular fluid? So here please understand. So after binding of the 3 sodium ions to the sodium potassium pump, you know that it is having the inside the cytoplasm, it is consisting of the proteins, and there will be presence of the membrane protein. So these membrane proteins will help in the changing of the structure of or the movement of sodium potassium pump. So this leads to the changing of the sodium potassium pump. This changing of the sodium potassium pump structure means the releasing, or you can call it as the activation gate. Okay, so this activation gate, what you can see in the second diagram, that is opening. So that activation gate means the gate is opened. So this gate which is opened, it is towards the cytoplasm. But in the third diagram you can see that gate, it is opened towards the extracellular fluid. How this got changed, you might be having the question. So this is mainly because of the transmembrane proteins which helped to transfer or which helped for the movement of the activation gate towards the extracellular fluid. Okay, so you can recall in the first slide I said the axonal membrane which is consisting of the different ion channels. So that axonal membrane will be showing permeability for only the sodium ions. Means the sodium ions will not move from one region to another region easily, because for the axonal membrane for the sodium it is showing impermeability. Here it is showing only permeability for the potassium ions. But still now with the help of sodium potassium pump, our sodium ions from the cytoplasm, from the exoplasm which gets binded, now they are going to move from the cytoplasm or the exoplasm towards the extracellular fluid. So this is movement of the 3 sodium ions from the exoplasm towards the extracellular fluid. It is done with the help of the sodium potassium pump. So this activation gate which was towards the cytoplasm, in the third diagram you can see that activation gates open in the extracellular fluid. This opening of the activation gate, it is done with the help of the transmembrane proteins. So now from the exoplasm, the 3 sodium ions have moved to the extracellular fluid. Okay, so in the fourth diagram you can see after transferring the 3 sodium ions from the exoplasm towards the extracellular fluid, then from the extracellular fluid it is going to take 2 potassium ions. Why only 2? Because already there is 3 binding sites were there for, and it is used for the sodium ion. So it is left only with the 2 sites. So there 2 potassium ions will bind. So in the fourth diagram you can see the activation gate is towards the extracellular fluid. But when it comes to the fifth diagram, again you can see that activation gate getting opened in the cytoplasm. In the sixth you can see the 2 potassium ions are being released to the cytoplasm. Is it clear? So in the third diagram you can see the release of the 3 sodium ions from exoplasm towards the extracellular fluid. And in the sixth diagram you can see the 2 potassium ions are released from the extracellular fluid to the exoplasm. So okay, so now I had told the ionic gradient, it is maintained by the active transport of the 3 sodium ions from inside to the outside and the 2 potassium ions from outside to the inside. So this is the movement of the sodium and potassium ions across the axonal membrane. It is going to form the positive charge on the axonal membrane, that is towards the outside, and the negative charged inside the axonal membrane. So this difference, that is out now after the movement of the 3 sodium ions from inside to outside. So outside the axonal membrane it becomes positive charge, and 2 potassium ions moving from outside to the inside. So across the axonal membrane inside it gets the negative charge. So outside positive charge and inside the negative charge. So this makes the axonal membrane to become polarized. Okay, so that's why I told our neuronal cells are called excitable, because their membrane getting polarized. Okay, so this difference across the axonal membrane, the difference means with respect to the charges. So this is forming electrical potential difference. But remember, this electrical potential difference, what is formed, that is the change in the charges across the axonal membrane, it is formed when the neuron is not conducting any impulse. So if the neuron is not conducting any impulse, then it is called the resting state. So during the resting state, the potential difference which is formed in the neuron, so that potential difference, it is called as the resting potential. So during the resting potential only, the membrane is said to be as polarized. Okay, so here you can observe in the first diagram, that is the you can see the axonal membrane. So outside the axonal membrane it is the positive charge, and inside the axonal membrane it is the negative charge. Okay, so the difference in the charges makes the potential difference. So this potential difference is formed when the neuron is not conducting any impulse. So that's why that potential difference is called resting potential. So resting potential which is formed across the axonal membrane makes the axonal membrane to be as polarized. So in the first, now this in the resting stage, the neuron axonal membrane will be in polarized condition. So polarized means outside positive charge and inside negative charge. So next what happens, our function of the functions of the neuron, it is going to receive the stimulus, it is going to detect the stimulus, and it is going to transmit that stimulus. So here what happens, when the neuron gets the stimulus may be in any kind, like when you touch even the hot object, so that also is the stimulus. Okay, or when you observe any image, object, that also becomes, immediately you are going to now if you look at any color, immediately you are going to tell that which is that color. So this is a kind of the stimulus. So now in the B you can see I have considered the two sites. What are those two sites? Site A and site B. So let us give the stimulus to the site A. So in the site A you can see the charges, outside it is positive and inside it is negative. But when the stimulus is given, to the site A, and please recall, when the axon is in the resting state, when the neuron is in the resting state, it was showing the impermeability for the sodium ions. But with the help of the sodium potassium ions, 3 sodium ions from outside they received, means from inside the 3 ions were sent to the outside. But now what happens? When the site A gets the stimulus, immediately the axonal membrane starts showing the permeability for the sodium ions. So when there is the influx of the sodium ions from outside to the inside, the charges goes on changing. So when there is the stimulus is given to the neuron, so that new axonal membrane shows permeability for the sodium ions. When the neuron is in the resting stage, it will be showing the impermeability. So now the stimulus is given to the neuron. It means the neuron is, the impulse is generated to the neuron. So what happens when the stimulus is generated at the site A? The sodium ions will start moving from outside to the inside, means influx of the sodium ions. Okay, so now what happens if when the stimulus is given? So here at the site A, the change in the charges will get the reverse. Earlier when the neuron was in the resting stage, outside it was positive, inside it was negative. But when the neuron is given the stimulus, it shows the movement of sodium ions from outside to the inside. So this brings the change in the charges. Outside now it becomes as the negative and inside it becomes as positive. So polarized means outside it will be positive, inside it is the negative. But now outside it is negative and inside it is positive. It is the reverse of the polarized. So outside if it is negative and inside the axonal membrane it is a positive, means now that neuron is said to be, or that axonal membrane is said to be as the depolarized. So remember, you are not observing the depolarized at the complete axonal membrane. Depolarized is observed only at the site A, because you can see I had shown the 3 positive charges outside and inside at the A. But in the B also I had shown the same, but the stimulus it is given only to the site A. So when the stimulus is given to only to the site A, at the site A only the influx of sodium ions occurs. So this influx of the sodium ions changes the charges. At that outside it becomes negative and inside it becomes positive. So now only the site A gets depolarized. Clear? So now what happens? Now site A is receive the stimulus, but that site A stimulus should be made to transfer, should be made to move across the length of the axon. So next what happens? Listen. So the site A, after getting the stimulus, it shows the positive charge inside and negative charge outside. Okay. So here site B, there inside it is the negative and outside it is positive, means site B is in the polarized, site A is in the depolarized. So site A, after becoming depolarized, the positive charge inside the axonal membrane will be attracted by the site B. So what happens? So this site A positive charge, there will be flow of the charges inside from the site A to the site B. So this positive charge will move from site A to site B. So now you can see in the D, site B I have shown with a dotted positive, that is after the flow of charges from site A to the site B. So when from the site A positive charge move towards the site B, inside site B gets the positive charge inside, and outside the positive charge from the site B will be moving towards the site A. you can that I have shown in the C. So now in the D you can see the negative is seen at negative charge is seen in the axonal membrane outside, okay, but inside you can see the positive charge, means now site B became the depolarized, whereas site A, can you see it? In the C we called site A to be as depolarized, and in the D diagram you can see site B as depolarized, whereas site A again it became as positive outside and negative inside. So this is called repolarized. Okay, understood? So the mechanism of the nerve impulse and its conduction occurs across the length of the axon. When the stimulus is applied to the site A, it becomes site A shows the permeability for the sodium ions, and it leads to the movement of the sodium ions from outside to the inside. So when the sodium ions move from outside to the inside, it shows the reverse of the polarized state, that is only at the site A. So now outside it became negative and inside it became the positive. So the polarity at the site A gets reversed, and that site A now it becomes the depolarized. Then this depolarized, where we observed at the site A, and that electrical difference at the site A, it is called as the action potential. Action potential is nothing but that particular site A has received the nerve impulse. So now what happens? The site at the site B, outside it is positive and inside it will be negative. So there will be the movement of, or there will be the flow of current from site A to site B. So from site A to site B will be seen in the inner side, and in the outer side site B to site A. So why this from inside site A to site B and from outside site B to site A? Because of the complete of the circuit current flow. So this flow of the current from site A to site B and vice versa will change the polarity at the site B. So this is continued, or it is repeated across the length of the axon, and then the impulse is conducted. So here this is what I have shown here, the same thing. So you can go through that also, but it may lead to confusion. Clearly if you observe the same thing what I have shown with my diagram, the same thing can be seen. So here this, but remember we have observed the permeability of the sodium ions only during the depolarized. So this permeability of the sodium ions at the site A, it will be only short lived, means to make the site A to become depolarized, the sodium ions will enter from outside to the inside. Once it become depolarized, means again the sodium ions from inside it will be moving towards the outside with the help of the sodium potassium pump. So like this all the sides of the axon will become the depolarized, then becoming repolarized. So like this the nerve impulse will be conducted across the length of the axon. But here one more thing you have observed, the neuron is differentiated as myelinated and the non-myelinated. Okay, means the neurons which are having the myelin sheath across the axon are called myelinated, and the neuron which doesn't have the myelin sheath across the axon are called the non-myelinated. So how the conduction of impulse is going to take place in case of the non-myelinated or in the myelinated? Remember, in case of the myelinated nerve fiber, the conduction of the impulse will be very faster than the non-myelinated, because In case of myelinated, what happens? There will be presence of the myelin sheath, and this myelin sheath will be interrupted at certain points, and those points are called the nodes of Ranvier. So here what happens? The nerve impulse will be jumping from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier. So this jumping of the nerve impulse from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier is called the saltatory conduction. Very important for your NEET or the KCET exam. So please remember, saltatory conduction means the nerve impulse will be jumping from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier. But in case of non-myelinated, what happens? That conduction of the impulse will be moving across the length of the axon, means they won't be jumping. Here you can see clearly. So the first one is non-myelinated. You can see the movement of the that is conduction of the impulse one after the other point. But in the second one, where it is called the myelinated axon, there you can see the movement or the conduction of the impulse from one node of Ranvier to another node of the Ranvier. So this jumping of the nerve impulse from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier, it is called the saltatory conduction. Whereas in case of non-myelinated, this conduction of the nerve impulse, as it is continuously moving across the length of the axon, it is called continuous conduction. So thank you, students.